Tollefson, welcome to my studio. I'm so glad to have you here today. I have my little birds, Groshi and Romeo are here, and they're helping to do the introduction for this video. So today's painting, I have a little 8x10. This is called Lemon Love. This was a collaboration I did with wonderful artist Erika Lancaster. We each decided we were going to paint 2 lemons, a still life, and put a blue background and use 1 purple flower. So here's the painting that I did, and now it's dry enough that I can add my texture on top. So I'll be adding layers of oil paint with palette knives in the technique that I developed called Daubism. So I hope that you enjoy the video. And I also hope that if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, that you'll subscribe and then ring the notification bell. So there's a little notification bell that is what you can ring to let YouTube know that you'd like to be notified anytime I have a new video. And I hope that you'll also subscribe. So without any further ado, let's get painting.
So here are the tools that I'll be using in today's painting. I have these wonderful different spatulas, different palette knives that are all going to be used in this painting to apply the paint. And I'm hoping that today you'll be able to relax, and if you're feeling any anxiety or have any sleep issues, I'm hoping that this video will help you to feel good and to relax. So this painting is called Lemon Love. And there's actually a little story that I created for this painting, and I'd like to tell you the little story. So once upon a time, there were 2 lemons. Luke Lemon and Lucinda Lemon. These lemons lived in the tree, and they were very happy, except for one thing. They wished that they had a child. So Luke Lemon and Lucinda Lemon would spend a lot of time looking at the other lemons in the lemon tree. And Lucinda and Luke would say, "Oh, but we're just as yellow as the other lemons," or "We have better juice than the other lemons, but why don't we have a child?" And the more that they thought about it, the more that they wished that they had a little child. All of the other families around them were 2 lemons surrounded by a little lemon blossom or 2 little lemon blossoms for children. And Luke and Lucinda wished that they would be a family like that. They wished if only they had their lemon blossom child. They would watch with longing as all the little lemon blossoms would go to recitals every spring, and then eventually develop into fruit and form their own families. Lucinda Lemon watched as all of her friends were dressing their lemon blossoms in greenery for the annual lemon blossom festivals. In midsummer, Luke would watch as the leaves would fly around with other lemons, throwing the ball for their lemon blossoms. And they would watch all of the other parents taking photos, and they thought if only they had a child. Years went by, and Lucinda and Luke did some traveling. And their traveling took them to China and Japan. And they watched there at the Japanese Festival of Happiness. And the Japanese Festival of Happiness honors a chrysanthemum. They were watching and they would see the strict, rigorous efforts that would happen to make the flowers as large as possible. They would pinch back, the gardeners would pinch back the heads of the chrysanthemums that were getting ready to bloom. And it would encourage the plant to make an even larger blossom. So Luke and Lucinda were there, and they noticed that there was one blossom that had not been pinched back. And it was smaller than the others. And Luke and Lucinda Lemon went up to the gardener and said, "Oh, this is the most beautiful purple chrysanthemum we've ever seen. And who does she belong to?" And the gardener said, "She's of no account. Don't worry about her. Look at these other beautiful large blossoms I have to show you." Luke and Lucinda Lemon went back to the lemon tree, and in the night, they both had dreams of the little purple chrysanthemum they had met when they were on their travels. No matter where they go, they felt haunted by the image of this little purple chrysanthemum, who looked nothing like the little small, delicate lemon blossoms they're used to seeing. This purple chrysanthemum had long, shaggy, different petals and was unruly. But for some reason they felt so drawn to this flower, this little child that nobody seemed to want. It was then and there that Luke and Lucinda had made up their mind. All of a sudden, what was a problem getting through the day and wishing that they were parents, now all of a sudden they had a sense of urgency and a sense of excitement. So they left the lemon tree and they traveled back to the place where the gardener was, who had prepared the Japanese Festival of Happiness plants. And they looked at him and they said, "We've come back for the small purple chrysanthemum." But he just laughed. He said, "I don't know what you're talking about." And they felt devastated. But instead of giving up, they knew what they needed to do. Luke and Lucinda began a journey to find that small purple chrysanthemum. They looked high and they looked low, but they could not find her anywhere. They looked for days. Finally, when they were about to give up, they went back to the gardener, and he finally admitted that he had placed the purple chrysanthemum into the trash bin. They couldn't believe what they had heard. Well, the trash had gone out many days before, and even weeks before. So they went out to the garbage heap, and they couldn't believe what they had seen. Rising up in the middle of the trash heap was a new flower, a new plant. And at the very top of that plant was happily blooming their purple chrysanthemum. And Luke and Lucinda Lemon went running towards that heap of trash. And in the trash they found this beauty, this wonderful unloved chrysanthemum, purple chrysanthemum, that was too small and not capable, and in their mind was perfect. So what you see here is a family photo of Luke and Lucinda Lemon, who are in love. And tucked in behind them sits their daughter. Miss Lavender Chrysanthemum. And the moral of the story is that sometimes we have ideas of who we'll love or who we need to have in our family or who we don't have in our family, and who's worthy and who's not. And sometimes we're surprised to find out where love really is and where acceptance really is. And I hope that in your life you have love and acceptance. And I hope that you extend love and acceptance to all around you. And who we love isn't necessarily who we think we're going to love, but love is a gift, and we should embrace it. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this story, and I hope that you've enjoyed this painting. And I wish you love, and I wish you happiness. So until next time, this is Dena Tollefson. Bye-bye.